All right, here we go. I'll walk you guys through a little workout. It's January 1st, 2024, so I thought this would be a good workout to show you the beginning of 2024. My goal for this year, it's a loose goal. I haven't really committed yet, but it's probably 405 pounds on the bench press. Now, I think I can do it. I never really wanted to do it, and I never really thought it'd be possible to do, especially natural. Until like the other day, I was hitting 205. And this is really just a very simple revelation. I was hitting 205, and it was easy as fuck. And then I just thought to myself, like, could I double this 205 or nearly double it, right? And I was like, yeah, I could. So then I was like, I could bench 405. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through a bench press workout, which will be a staple for me in 2024 that enables me to get stronger. And you guys can follow this bench press workout, use it for yourself. It's probably nothing you haven't seen before, but maybe this simple, non-complex, bro science, macro, micro bullshit is what you need. Because I think that's what most people need: understand your own body and understand a simple workout, then execute that simple workout. So let's do that. I'm going to start with the bar. We're going to do a very basic, I think they call it pyramid, pyramid or reverse pyramid. So I'm going to start low. I'm going to do what I believe is called like a power lifter type of rep range, where I'm going to do a few reps and I'm going to work up to a heavy lift, and then I'm going to work down with quantity, right? So you'll be able to see that. So let's jump right into it. We'll start with the bar. I really like to concentrate on form and just being explosive. So I'll come down slow, kind of warm up nice and slow, and then I kind of want to get a couple really more explosive ones in, and we're just waking things up. And what's crazy, and I'm sure people who bench know this, is as you start to understand your body more, like a key for you for not to understand if you don't understand your body is if you get down, you hit the bar, or you hit your first 135 rep, and you should be able to tell from that point forward where the workout's going, right? So I could tell I'm going to be able to hit 315, 320, 325 today. I can just tell. I know when my nervous system isn't there, because I'll hit this bar and it just feels a tiny bit heavier than normal. That can account for 15, 20, 25 pounds off your normal lift. So that's how you can kind of plan your workouts also, or augment your workouts. So if you get down, you lay down, you're like, I want to bench today. I want to hit it hard, and you hit the bar as a warm-up and it feels a little heavy, or your right pec feels a little tight. Listen to that. Don't be like, oh, fuck, let's just keep going and tear your pec off the bone, right? Maybe instead of going up how I'm going up to maybe 300, 315, 320, wherever I end up, I just say, you know what, I'm going to go to 245 and try to get a lot of reps in, right? So whatever that is for you, listen to your body and then augment your workout. So I can tell that what I pictured I could do today, I'm probably going to be able to do just based off that first rep. I actually rest a shit ton in between sets. I don't know what that's called. It's called this. I don't know what that's called. I just rest a lot in between each rep. I think what I call it is I don't like to operate in diminishing returns, right? So if I'm in a, I don't know if that's what it's called, or if that's the best way to phrase it. Let's say, I don't know how to phrase it, but if I'm not feeling optimal for my next set, I don't want to do the exercise, because I'll be practicing pattern overloads that are essentially not optimal, which means I'm not going to get the most strength, especially as I'm going up in this pyramid. Now, when I come down, it doesn't matter so much. I can work to failure, try to keep my form intact as much as possible while getting more reps. But I rest a shit ton. So as I grab this Xbox controller, I'm just going to check on a damn download here. Looks like it's done. Looks like it's good to go. But I'll typically play a game of like Halo 5 or some shit, because I'm old as fuck. Murk some kids on there, and then I'll come back and then I'll do another rep or another set. And that seems to be really proficient or optimal rest periods for me. And I really believe in that. Rest until you feel like doing the next set. A lot of these guys, man, they just go, 30 seconds and go. Like, this shit ain't CrossFit. Now, if you want to do a CrossFit style workout, then that's what you do. Now, but you might not get the results out of it that you want. You might get better endurance. You might actually be a little more healthy, have more cardiovascular endurance, but you're not going to be strong, right? Or as strong as the next guy who trains like me that looks like he doesn't do shit. And they're like, how's this fucking guy lifting that or whatever? It's because, I'm kind of training more for strength. And training, I say training very loosely because I'm not no fucking weightlifting trainer guy or some shit. I don't have a program. I just kind of do this shit. So here comes 135. Here, I'm typically doing like 3 to 5 reps. Not a lot. Feels good. And 3 it felt good, but not that good, right? So what I don't get when I see people in the gym, and I'll hear these kids talking when I do go to the gym, which is rare, but I'll hear them talking. It'll be younger kids in high school, and they'll be doing a bench press workout, and they're talking about hitting a PR. And I'll see them get down on 135 as a warm-up and hit for 12 fucking reps. And mind you, this kid's PR is like, it's not bad, but say it's like 245. And I'm like, why are you hitting that much a percentage of your 1 rep max for 12 reps? Because they see shit online that these guys who do steroids do, and they think, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Let me throw a name out there, no shade, but like Mike Rashid, his warm up with 135 is 30. Like, yeah, that motherfucker's on steroids. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I only do 3 because I'm just trying to fire everything up. I'm trying to go heavy. Why would I do 12? Unless it was a different style workout, right? So from here, I'm going to jump to 205 this up, and I'm going to go grab my coffee right now. But 2024, what are your goals? Think about it. Don't think about it too hard. I think that's part of the issues with people hitting goals. It's like, it's me with this 405. Me personally, I'm old enough to know like the resolutions and shit doesn't work. Most of these things, these big changes come with lifestyle changes, right? They don't come because you just say you're going to do it. You have to change so many aspects of your life from a lifestyle change perspective to do big things. For me, 405, that's why I'm on the fence with it. I don't think that's a big thing. Now, if I said like 450 or 500 pounds by the end of the year, that's more of a big thing to where I'd have to change my life. I have to say like, oh, I'm going to work from home now, work remotely. I'm going to train 2 times a day. I'm going to try to connect with local powerlifters in my community and get tips. I'm going to get some tips from these guys on how to get stronger, right? But that's more realistic, So do the same thing for your own goals in your life. Figure out what you want to do for 2024 within means that's realistic for you. And then, in the first quarter of 2024, see where you're at. And then you can feel a lot better about it. What's great about that is if you set more realistic goals, which more people should concentrate on doing, and it's not diminishing your ability. I know like manosphere shit, they'll be like, oh, that's a limiting value mindset. No, it's better because if you're through the first quarter of the year or first 4 or 5 months of the year and you're nowhere near, say for myself example, benching a 405, right? It's not going to bother me. I can adjust and be like, you know what? All right, well, shit, 380 is nice too, right? So I guess figure out what your goals are, especially if it's weightlifting. Pick something that's reasonable or within means. Do that for 2024. Pick something that's realistic, that's currently a little out of your grasp, but you're going to do the things so you can grasp it. It's too much shit because you're listening to Andrew Tate, and he said you should be able to have a Ferrari by the end of the month, right? You don't want to fuck your life up because you're just being unrealistic all the time. All right, 205, of course. This is going to be for 1 rep. Just a little pause. I don't want to accentuate that pause too much. Here's a tip, because if you accentuate that pause too much when you're pyramiding up or whatever the fuck we call this, going up to the high weight, you're going to recruit too much of your pec, especially like, for people with longer arms like me. You're going to just risk straining shit up in here and up in here where you have your insertion points. I'm telling you, because if you lose too much momentum and you're like, oh, I'm going to stay here for 3 seconds, everybody knows like this is now all chest to start, especially if your elbows are way past parallel because you have longer arms. It's all chest and you're just recruiting too much. You want to fire yourself up. Another tip, you'll see that every time I set up, my setup's the same. You should figure out what your setup is, what feels comfortable. I'll tell you, this took me, a year and a half of benching to figure out what my setup was and what felt comfortable to me. So you'll notice I get under. Just about 6 months ago, maybe, I figured out like getting my eyes under the bar made a huge fucking difference. I saw a video of someone doing that. I implemented it, huge difference. Bringing the bar down like under my chest, like right where my sternum is, like underneath the nipple line, was a huge difference for me. I used to touch the bar like mid-chest. So figuring these things out is important, and your setup is so important. That's a huge part of it. So you'll notice I have this shimmy. I pull myself up to the bar. I go down. That helps me kind of like get my back tight, retract my scapula, and have everything just planted like very firmly and secure on the bench with my back and my lats, or what lats I have. I need to work my back out more. And then I squeeze the shit out of the bar, especially not too much on these lower weights. I don't go ham yet because I don't need that nervous system quite so much yet. But when I get up to like, definitely like 300 and above, I squeeze the fuck out of the bar because I want that nervous system to kick in. I want my hands to tell the rest of my body like something serious is going on right now. Let's go. So always do that. You guys will add 10, 15, 20 pounds sometimes to your bench if you've never squeezed the bar and you start squeezing it. Some guys just have this like limp wrist, like they're holding the bar and they don't want it to fall out of their hands, of course, but they never squeeze the shit out of the bar with their hands. Squeeze with your hands. Another thing, don't wear fucking wrist wraps. Now the reason behind that, a lot of guys are like, why don't you wear wrist wraps? Well, you don't wear wrist wraps if you're benching like this mediocre weight. Like I'm a mediocre bencher. Why would I wear wrist wraps? If your wrists aren't strong enough to hold 275 pounds, honestly, you got, with all due respect, you have some issues, right? It's not safe to do that. It's actually unsafe, because if you're coming from 135 pounds, you're always using wrist wraps, you're moving up, your wrists are just weak. You've never had your wrists underneath the load stabilizing, because they're going to be doing this a lot and they're actually going to be getting stronger through time. And so when you take those fuckers off, if you ever do, you'll notice your wrists are weak as shit. So unless you're a real strong dude, you don't need wrist wraps. You really don't. And I personally think my biggest reason why I was just talking about squeezing the bar in relation to wrist wraps, it disconnects. Like, so here's your connection, right? You're squeezing, that's your connection point. It's firing and sending signals, and you have like this fucking interruption, right? And I know this is bro science, this is my science, but to me, what I felt with my own body, it's like, because I used to use wrist wraps, and I felt like I took those fuckers off and my bench went up. And my wrist probably, I'm assuming, I have no way of testing this, got stronger, right? Because I didn't use them. But I felt like the squeeze of those wrist wraps was creating this disconnect between the squeezing and trying to activate my CNS and this barrier here. So I want to take that off so I can really, everything just flows and everything's just one. And there's not like this unnatural object that's squeezing my shit. Hit me in the comments if you disagree. Like, no, you need them. This is why, because my doctor said, or whatever. And then maybe I can be enlightened about that and change my opinion. But I personally think you don't need them. So from here, we're going to do 245. I'm actually going to try something different today. I usually do two. So I go 135, 205. 245, 275, 300, and then whatever I feel like I can do after 300. Sometimes I stop at 300 and go back down. If I feel like I can do 305, 310, 315, 320, I'll try those. But today, what I'm trying to say is sometimes I'll skip 275. I'll do a static hold with all the weight that I have in here, which isn't much. I think it's like 350 total. And then I'll hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, put it down, and I'll jump from 245 to sometimes as much as 315, because again, if I'm trying to see where my strength's at, I'm not an unnatural lifter. I don't want to diminish too much, take too much out of the tank before I go for that heavy lift. And that's actually what I'm going to do today. I'm going to hit 245 here for 1 rep, and then I'm going to take a nice break. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do a static hold with all the weight that I have, and then I'm going to go for 315. I don't want to do too long of a pause. Let's just concentrate on getting through the rep. Squeeze. Just get through the rep. So now let me get this ready. I'm going to put all the weight on here. So this doesn't need to be stacked correctly. Obviously, stacking like this is blasphemous and will fuck with most people's heads. But since I'm just doing a static hold, who gives a shit, right? I'm gonna skip the 275, which would just deplete my tank. And I'm not saying I can't do 275 and hit 315. I probably can, but I guess on camera I want to look stronger. So I want my 315 to be cleaner. But not just on camera, I want to look stronger. Seeing a 315 as I'm benching, seeing it go up cleaner is psychological, especially when you see that shit on camera. Because a lot of times you'll grind, you'll watch it back on camera, and be like, damn, that shit didn't look so hard. When I was doing it, it felt hard. But there's a lot of psychological play that goes into getting your bench higher. I'm gonna break for a second. Or you know what? Let's just do this. I'm gonna do this so let's do this static hold. So whatever the fuck this is, let's just hold it for a little bit. 3 seconds. 3 seconds static hold to get my shit fired up, right? So let's go here. Setup is the same. We're gonna pretend that we're actually lifting this when we know we're not, but tell the body we are. 1, 2, 3. Be safe as fuck when you put that back, because you're putting it over your head. And then take a break and we're gonna come back. Right back. So to recap, I stacked up all the way. I did a static hold of 3 seconds. And I just took like a 10-minute break. So now I'm back, and I've decided to hit 315. I was thinking 320. I just thought it'd be too much. I'm just going off the feels. You got to go off the feels sometimes. So let's hit this real quick. And this is very touch and go. There ain't no, I'm going for a meat lift type of form or anything like that. Just touch and go. Just get it done. But I think I could hit 320, 325. I just don't want to do it. And you got to trust your instincts. Trust the vibe. Trust how you feel. That's how you get hurt if you don't, right? Sloppy, but So I can tell you, 320 would have been like a good grind, and 325 I would have missed. So that was a good call. That was definitely a good call. So from there, I'm gonna kind of have less rest, and I'm gonna start dropping the weight. So I'm gonna go 275 now. Not a dramatic amount less. I'm still gonna rest in between. I also feel like that prevents injury when you give yourself time to rest. So I like to rest plenty between my sets. But I don't know, that 315 felt like a little bit of a grinder. I don't know, it probably looked better on camera, but felt uneven coming up. I honestly felt a little tweak in my left bicep. Not like a injury, but like a tendon rolling or something. That feeling? That's what it kind of felt like. But no pain. But I think that's why I kind of was unbalanced there for a second. So I'll give this another 30 seconds or so, and I'm going to hit that rep again. Or hit 275, sorry. All right. Remember, same setup as always. And I'm going to squeeze the bar. Ugh. So yeah, I could do like, 2 rest, 2 rest, 2 rest. You guys get it. But that's the workout. Again, 2024, my personal goal. Y'all can hold me accountable if you want. It's probably not going to work, but it's 405 by the end of the year. I think I can do that. And again, I didn't think I could do that in the past. My basis for it is 205 feels so damn easy. It was like a revelation. I was in this garage. I was hitting 205. I was like, could I do twice as much as this? Like physically, like with my anatomy. Could I do that naturally? And I was like, yeah, I could do that. So that's kind of where I'm at. I really believe I could do that. And then about me, I always like giving stats because none of these motherfuckers give stats out here. You notice that? But I'm 5'10", like in the morning, I'm 5'10 and a quarter, 5'10 and a half, no shoes. I've got a 6'3" wingspan, so I've got long arms. That's why I think my bench looks good, because what a lot of you are used to seeing is it's an illusion. My form isn't better than anybody's, right? But what looks good is that exaggerated like elbows going far. It looks like I'm doing something extra when I'm not. What a lot of you are used to seeing is like someone going like this and then stopping, because that's the range of motion, and then they go up. And so something about it doesn't look as impressive. It's almost like a 7-foot guy in a dunk contest. Something about it is just off, right? When I do myself and others who have longer arms, when we do our rep, we go far past parallel with our elbows, right? They go way back so we can touch our chest. So it just looks like we're doing more, and we are. It's a longer rep. So right now I'm probably 195. I'm probably 198. I'm overweight right now. But between 195 and 198, somewhere in there. And I'd like to be lighter, about 185, doing 405. And I know I could do that. I know mass moves mass, but I really believe I could do that. So I'll become more committed to this goal in the first quarter of the year. And then if by the end of the first quarter, I'm not making significant progress, I'll probably quit. But you guys will see. And that's how I do my workouts. Again, I showed this as the first workout of the year because this is going to be a staple of what gets me to that goal. And then in between that is pause benching. That's huge. I've noticed that's helped me dramatically getting out of the hole. So a lot of pause benching. That I won't do floor presses. I won't do all that nerd shit until it's like absolutely necessary. So that's it, guys. Tune in next time.